Today on The Update, Ghana's produced 500,000 barrels of oil daily. NEIP Window 2 targets 2,000 businesses. Go and sin no more, Speaker to Ken Agyapong. IOASA Commission of Inquiry begins probe. Ghana on dirty money list. European Commission. Grateful to have you here on DGN. My name is Lady Pelos and this is The Update. So our first story, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has announced that daily commercial oil production in Ghana is projected to increase to 500,000 barrels by 2024. The announcement was made by the Finance Minister to investors in Oslo, Norway on Wednesday, February 13th, 2019. The minister, who is leading a Government of Ghana delegation to Norway, indicated that overall crude oil production from Ghana was expected to double over the next 4 years. Aker Energy ASA, a Norwegian oil firm, has already confirmed a significant offshore resource base in Ghana and has committed to scale up new development in the deepwater Tano Cape 3 Points block, DWT and CT. Addressing the meeting of 20 key international companies, Mr. Ofori-Atta stated that Ghana has reasserted herself strongly as a key destination for petrochemical industry. And Deputy Minister of Energy Mohamed Amins Adams said Ghana's production of crude oil is expected to reach 500,000 barrels by 2025. The government delegation, which included the Minister of Transport Kweku Ofori-Esiama, held extensive discussions with Aker and other related entities. The discussions also highlighted plans to develop the Tema Dry Dock shipyard. Meanwhile, the Ghanaian delegation in Oslo include the Deputy Minister of Finance, Charles Edu Boahin, CEO of Petroleum Commission, Egbert Fable Jr., and the CEO of Ghana Gas, Ben Asante. The National Entrepreneur and Innovation Program, NEIP, under the Ministry of Business Development, has announced the opening of its second window of applications on the Presidential Business Support Program to provide well-coordinated support to businesses. The NEIP was introduced by President Akufo-Addo with a seed fund of $10 million, which is expected to be scaled up to $100 million to mentor small businesses on the path of profitability. Under Window 1 of the program, NEIP assisted about 7,000 applicants with training, business advisory services, technical support and access to market. The Chief Executive Officer of NEIP, John Kuma, at the press launch of the second window on Thursday in Accra, called on prospective applicants to partake in the project that seeks to support small-scale businesses in terms of training, business advisory services, incubation, technical and financial aid for startups. Mr. Kuma disclosed that the first window was highly welcomed by Ghanaians as it received 7,000 applicants from all of the 10 regions of the country, and that there are 50 training programs in incubation hubs across the country. According to him, the second window seeks to support 2,000 businesses with seed capital ranging from 10,000 Ghana cedis to 100,000 Ghana cedis. He advised applicants who applied for the first window and were not successful to endeavor to reapply, as any Ghanaian with an innovative idea qualifies. He expressed his interest in receiving more applications from female innovators, as they recorded 52% and 48%. Parliament has reprimanded the Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Mr. Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, after finding him liable for contempt of Parliament over his unsavory on the House. Kennedy Agyapong had said in an interview that Parliament is cheap, earning him an invitation to appear before the Privileges Committee of the House for contempt. The House was in consensus that the Asin Central MP be made to apologize to the House for bringing the dignity of the Parliament into disrepute. Mr. Agyapong therefore unconditionally apologized to the House and his colleagues for his comments and said his comments were taken out of context after the vice chairman of the ruling New Patriotic Party, MPP, Kwabena Nsentre, who provoked him by calling him a useless MP.
I've admitted that I used the word cheap, but I didn't say Parliament is useless. And that is why I'm saying that I apologize, given the background that I've given you. Those who went on air to call me, I don't deserve to be a member of Parliament and do all those things. And my leader not calling me, that is why I said Parliament, Ayafu.
He also added that he had the utmost respect for Parliament and will never do anything to bring the name of the House into disrepute. The Speaker said Parliament has decided to reprimand the MP because of his apology and remorse and warned to go and sin no more. The Speaker, on the other hand, warned other fellow MPs to mind their utterances, especially with regard to the institution of Parliament, which they are part of. Speaker Okwe also cautioned against resurrecting the matter, especially in the media, since the matter had been brought to a close. The Commission of Inquiry investigating the shooting incident during the recent Ayawaso West Wogan constituency by-election has commenced public sitting. On the first day of sitting at the Castle of Sioux, the former seat of government, 3 ministers made appearance before the commission chaired by former Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, Justice Emil Short. National Security Minister Albert Kandapa, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry, and the Minister of State for National Security Brian Agyapong took turns to explain the roles played by the security agencies under their supervision in the mayhem at Ayawaso West Wogan. The National Security Minister Albert Kandapa, while making his submissions before the commission yesterday, said that although there were gunshots from the compound of the NDC candidate, the Special Weapons and Tactics SWAT team did not find the weapons because they could not gain access to the compound. According to him, though the leader of the SWAT team reported that one person sustained gunshot wounds, they were not responsible for the shots. When the SWAT team later attempted to go closer to the house, the inmates started pelting them with stones. Regarding the slaps received by Sam George, the minister agreed that indeed the incident happened, but the perpetrator was only questioned. And lastly, the European Commission has added yet another country to a list of 23 nations in a move to crack down on money laundering, and this time it's our homeland, Ghana. This has all come to light in lieu of several scandals at EU banks. And the aim of the list is to protect the EU financial system by better preventing money laundering and terrorist financing risks. There is a criteria used to blacklist countries, and those were initially set by the 4th Anti-Money Laundering Directive. Later on, it was strengthened by the 5th Anti-Money Laundering Directive and now include criminalization of money laundering and terrorist financing, customer due diligence and record-keeping requirements, reporting of suspicious transactions, the availability and exchange of information on beneficial ownership of legal persons and legal arrangements, the procedures of competent authorities, their practice in international cooperation, and effective sanctions. EU Justice Commissioner Vera Jourova, who proposed the list, told a news conference that she was confident states would not block it. In a statement, she said that there was an urgency, and I quote, "risk spread like wildfire in the banking sector." She went on to say that we have established the strongest anti-money laundering standards in the world, but we have to make sure that dirty money from other countries does not find its way to our financial system. Dirty money is the lifeblood of organized crime and terrorism. I invite the countries listed to remedy their deficiencies swiftly. The Commission stands ready to work closely with them to address these issues in our mutual interest. In addition to Ghana, other newcomers to the list are Nigeria, Libya, Botswana, Samoa, the Bahamas, and the 4 United States territories of American Samoa, US Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Guam. The other listed states are Afghanistan, North Korea, Ethiopia, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Syria, Trinidad and Tobago, Tunisia, and Yemen. But Bosnia, Guyana, Laos, Uganda, and Vanuatu were removed. But concerns have only been magnified by Britain, which plans to leave the EU on March 29th. It's been said that the list could confuse businesses because it diverges from a smaller listing compiled by its Financial Action Task Force, FATF, which is the global standard setter for anti-money laundering. The 28 EU member states now have 1 month, which can be extended to 2, to endorse the list. They could still reject it by a qualified majority. So that'll be all for today's update, but do well to visit our website at dailyguidnetwork.com for more news, or follow us on social media via Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at The Daily Guide Network for more stories in and around the world. And while you're online, you can get interactive with me at Lady Pilos on Instagram. The update was brought to you by Diamond Cement, powered by Press Express, and supported by Kata Clothing. This has been Lady Pilos. Have a lovely weekend.